Mondays always feel a little bit different, like they don't feel productive like other days do, usually because of shopping, but this time Laura went shopping and I still had an unproductive day. This morning I woke up, normal time, went for a walk, my morning walk, because I thought I was going to go shopping. We've been doing shopping for our next door neighbour and she hasn't asked us to do it for a while, so we were kind of assuming that one of us would have to go to Sainsbury's and then the other one would go to Lidl or Aldi, whichever one it is, I don't know. They're all the same to me. But that didn't turn out, so actually I just ended up staying here while Laura did the normal shop because we can't both go together. We've got a chimney for a barbecue. That's going to be great. Looking forward to that, boys. We're like kind of treating ourselves with each weekly shop. It's funny because like now I treated ourselves last week by getting some apple sauce and mint sauce. Whoa, pushing the boat down, boys. This week Laura got that. And if I would have gone, I would have bought us a frying pan. So it's turning into a bit of a habit. But yeah, so this morning went for a walk, did the rent out a video, got that uploaded. We're about to start work in the videos, so we're really not that far behind anymore, about 6 or 7 weeks behind. That's good catching up. I mean, that's still friggin' ages, but today was mostly a bit of a drag at work. There weren't that many meetings. I was kind of blocked behind a deployment issue, which we needed some help from another department for another team, sorry. Managed to diagnose that, got that fixed, got it deployed to an environment, ran automation tests. The automation test failed, and I think that's because we have this weird like database cache thing that I ran when I first joined, and I haven't ran it since. And it passes against my cache, but it doesn't pass against that cache. So I'm assuming it's just that we've got test data that's been updated, and now is no longer relevant to that cache, and now it's failing a test. It's annoying. Personally, I don't like tests at that level. Like if you're gonna IMO, if you're gonna write a test that says if this thing's in the database, if this thing triggers this, then I explicitly put it in the database as part of the test, so I know it's there, because it needs to be repeatable forever, and then I take it out again after. That's what I'm aiming to do with my project. I'm aiming to like kind of control the database, run the tests in such a way that I can control and spin up, tear down the database every single time, but they don't have that. And it's frustrating because it took me an entire day to get it deployed and run it, and then got that thing running the last minute, and then it took like 2 hours to do a database import. So I'll find out tomorrow how to fix that. Happy days. Otherwise though, Laura then went shopping and I spent about 2.5 hours researching monitors. I've now picked some monitors and I've bought them. Took a long time because the thing is, I'm reading reviews on monitors. I'm buying 2 monitors. I don't want to spend a ludicrous amount of money, and I know I'm spending a lot of money already. What I wanted was either 4K or 1440p. I've gone with 1440p, which is 2K. My old ones were 1080p, so I don't want to get another 1080p ones. But then I was like fighting between these 2 different ones, one of which is like a better picture, and the other one is a higher refresh rate. I'm like, the question effectively was, do I care enough about the picture to get a lower refresh rate? And the only reason I'd care about the refresh rate is because I want to play games on it. And I don't really play games on my computer, so I don't need it. And if I wanted to do that, I would, if I wanted to play games on it, then effectively to really push that many pixels that fast, I'd probably need a better graphics card. So in which case, so what I've done, I've decided to go for the one that's the better picture. So it's a Dell Ultra Sharp one. It's got good reviews. The problem with reading reviews like this though is that you read the reviews and it's like coming up with like cons and downsides, and I'm like, I don't know what that is. I don't know what any of this means. This is all like witchcraft to me. This is why I like shopping for things like this in person. Like you can kind of see from a TV. Like I know roughly what I want a TV to be able to do to buy a TV. Yeah, I need to have all the smart stuff I want. I want it to have like HDMI-C, EC, yeah, and a couple of other things. Happy days. Gucci, that'll do. And I want it to be fast. I want it to be like quick and snappy for me to get around because it's going to age, yeah. Monitors, no idea. The confusing thing is that like my old monitors are about 10 years old now and they're still okay. Like there's nothing wrong with them particularly, I just want an upgrade. But yeah, so they're bigger than my old ones, higher resolution than my old ones. There's two of them and they are on stands which can rotate to portrait. So I'm imagining a world where in the future, if I really cared about high refresh rate stuff to play games, what I'd probably do is get a wide one and then I can portrait them. That'd be sick, wouldn't it? But yeah, I'm reading the reviews and I'm like, oh God, that doesn't sound very good. And then I'm like, but compared to a 10-year-old monitor, would I even notice the things that you're downgrading this for? But I managed to figure out that like I said, I didn't need the high res one, the high refresh rate one. So yeah, that's ordered at last. So then I can get away from using this big old 32-inch one that's too big and I can go back to having dual monitors again. Oh, I want dual monitors so bad. I thought about getting an ultra wide, but a 32-inch ultra wide isn't wide enough. I'd need the 42-inch ultra wide and they don't sell that in the UK. So, but I actually would have considered that because you can effectively have a monitor in the middle and then panes left and right rather than the other one, which is kind of like a monitor and then a pane on the right, you know. But I've talked too much, it's bedtime. Also, actually, on that point, I'm going to need a new phone at some point this year because my phone literally needs to be charged about 3 or 4 times a day to make it through the day and it will just turn itself off at like 30-40%. It's ridiculous. It's really fucking bad, actually. It's literally unusable. As soon as we have to go, in fact, it's a blessing that I haven't had to go back to the office because it wouldn't, I don't think it'd make a commute. That's how bad it is. So, but what my point about the reviews though is like I'm looking at reviews of other things and it's like kind of like picking faults with like the cameras and stuff. And I'm like, oh, that doesn't look good compared to this one. Like I'm holding out for a Pixel. I don't want to get a Pixel 3 or 4a. I'd rather buy the flagship. But all of the flagship Pixels that aren't a Pixel 1 or Pixel 2 have kind of been a bit like had downsides. And even the Pixel 2 had downsides, I know. The original Pixel, when it came out, which is the one I got, has a really fucking good camera. And like its design didn't look dated that year. It did next year, but my point is that like every time you read a review, it's being compared against other flagships that come out this year. When really, I'm like, oh, I don't really want the Pixel 4 because of the X, Y, and Z. Or I don't really want the Pixel 3a because it's slow. It's got a really good camera on it, but it's slow. But is it slow in comparison to 4 or 5-year-old flagship? Probably not. When reviewers compare things to other products, they're normally comparing it to the top end rather than like what people own, which is like something 2 or 3 years old, you know? Well, that's the downside. That's by the way, that's what I was kind of hitting the problem with the monitors is like they're all shitting on them. And I'm like, I probably, one, I don't even know what those things are, so I wouldn't be able to spot the difference. And 2, compared to what I've got, it's probably fucking sick anyway, so. You know, every now and again I go out on these walks and I see how empty it is and I'm like, God, this is lovely, isn't it, how empty it is? And then you think how goddamn creepy it is, you know? I don't get me wrong, it's too early for it to be like a bustle, but there'd usually be like some school kids around. There'd be like mums with bikes, mums with kids with bikes like cycling down here and stuff, and it's just like, it's dead. I'm not sure if I mentioned it, but on like Sunday they started to like slowly relax stuff. So more people are being encouraged to go back to work. Oh, there you go, there's a van there with something in it. But yeah, and yet still seems quieter than ever to me. I keep saying I'm going to vlog during the day or like on my walks, but I'm wearing my headphones. I'm in podcasts, you know. It's not good for me. It's not good. Pretty standard ass day today, to be honest with you. Can't actually remember what I mostly did today. I've been like on the usual hype, walk, sort out a video, do a bit of programming. Dad rung because Vettel isn't racing for Ferrari anymore. That's big news. And then work was, I managed to fix some I had test failures. I had some test failures the day before, fixed them, I introduced a bug, which I didn't realise, because the way that we split the projects out basically meant I changed something in a project in one solution that affected code in another solution. I didn't notice because I don't have all the solutions running all at once and the test running against all of them, because I just changed the one I cared about, you know. So there's like a shared dependency that I wasn't aware of that I modified. Not a good idea. And it's a good job we spotted it, because I only spotted it because I accidentally deployed something which included those tests. It's kind of almost a fluke that I even spotted that. So otherwise, redeployed, got those tests all passing, trying to get end-to-end tests, trying to get a green run on the end-to-end tests. Got 2 failing tests, but I think they're environment based. It's hard to tell because we're also fucking about with something else in the environment as well, so it's not ideal at the moment. We've kind of got 2 like highly volatile pieces of code. Well, no, you've got one really highly volatile change going on over here, and in theory, my thing, which isn't even running yet, over here, having failing tests. So it's not ideal. But that's kind of the problem with end-to-end tests. Otherwise, in my world, I have finished my automation tests that include a real Mongo database, which is grand. There's some caveats. So what it does if you run it locally is it just points to your local Mongo, puts data in it, and then gets data out, and then deletes it all after. What it does in Docker, spins up Mongo, puts all the data in there, does all the stuff, runs tests, blah blah. It's great. Chuffing happy with it, boys. It's not like exactly how I want it, but I think it's manageable. I feel like in an ideal world, you would almost have a database per test rather than per thingy, but that's really aggressive, rather than one being spun up and then, because I had some issues with concurrency where like one of the tests was doing something that the other one wasn't, because don't really know how to get around that either. So, but we'll see what we can do. In the meantime, I can finally move off of this and move on to something else. And I now happily have tests that can check whether or not the Mongo configuration is failing or is correct. Took me a bloody long time to get there, but we've got it, boys. Yeah, taking a 30-minute lunch out. Bit of meetings from 10 till 1 and then another one from 1 till 2. I had enough time for like a 15-minute make your sandwich, eat it quick kind of meeting. And then I was just in that last phone call with a third-party provider company, just like eating an orange. We had some chonky refinement session, and then like a meeting with a third party as we're trying to figure out what data they have for us, and stuff like that. Interesting, fun times. But it is time. Oh, I need to step away from the screen for a bit. Stop looking at your phone. I have done some orders. It's a thing I do. I normally do everything all at once. So I bought my monitors the other day. They should be coming at some point this week, I think Friday. And then I placed a big Amazon order of like 5 things that we've been wanting, but I haven't got around to ordering. The first one has arrived. It was weird because like some of them, it's allowed me to collate some of them onto like the same day. So a lot of them are coming on Saturday, I think. But then the others are kind of being drip fed. One of them is not going to arrive for like half a month. But the first thing, oh gosh, boys, ignore the crumbs on the chopping board. That's how the rush I was in earlier. But you know how sometimes your chopping board just spins? How we've got a grippy thing, boys. Now hopefully when you're chopping on it, it doesn't slide. Yes. Because like as the wood warps over time and temperature changes and stuff, it just like gets to a point where it just spins. Fucking irritating. I was sorting out my video this morning for I think up to the 5th of April or 4th of April, and then I realised that I don't have the days from the 5th through to the 14th, so I've lost like a week and a bit of videos. Somehow it looks like they never made it to the computer. Fucked it. Otherwise today, for a crazy amount of meetings, and then I finished off, finally managed to get a thing merged, get that through. Takes a really long time to get that bit like kind of out the door, which is really annoying. And then otherwise I've been craving to play Satisfactory all day. So I've just been playing it all evening. It's been great. I need to watch some TV to kind of like turn my brain off a little bit, you know, before I go to bed. Looks like there's 2 cats next door. One is prowling, the other one on the roof. I don't feel like they can get out. I think that's I think that one's trying to find a way to climb out of that garden and it can't. I'd let you out if you were in our garden, buddy. I have to let next door know. But otherwise, boys and girls, we got new monitors up in here. Oh, fuck yeah. They are goddamn beautiful. 1440p, not 4K, but they're nice. I've rearranged stuff. Laura's coming back as well. Laptop's there. I've had to order a cable because the cable I've currently got between that and that one isn't strong enough. So, Amazon Prime, boys, my cable came. Bad news. Bad news. I feel like, I haven't proved this yet, but I'm 95% sure that I'm actually being throttled by the dock and all the laptop. So you can't see this, but this HDMI cable is connected to this monitor here, and it's doing 2K fine. This is a new cable that arrived today. That's connected to that one, and that doesn't know what resolution it's doing. It's doing something like 1080 by 2048, something wild like that. And the worst thing, I wouldn't mind a resolution distance, is it's the wrong fucking frame rate. It's like 30, it's like 24 hertz. It's crazy. I believe that's because the display ports aren't right. What I'm going to do is I'm going to swap out the cables. So I'm using DisplayPort to DisplayPort for Atlas. So I'm going to use those cables on the laptop over the weekend and see if that fixes it. If not, my hair's so long. If not, then it's definitely the dock. And I can try driving it from Atlas, or I could just order more DisplayPort cables. It's perfect for Atlas. It's not very good for this laptop. And it's either the laptop's fault or the dock's fault. It could be the cable, but I doubt it. Otherwise, today and yesterday have been fine. I went to the supermarket this morning and this lunchtime, because I went this morning, I was shopping for next door neighbour. Well, yesterday when Laura came home, she'd just come back from the supermarket from Lidl for my neighbour, but they didn't have something she needed. So I went this morning, but they do the like hour in the morning where only like the elderly and vulnerable people are allowed to shop. And I was hoping to go before I went to work, and I thought you could shop for people who are vulnerable, because like if you're vulnerable you shouldn't be out anyway, you know. I thought it was a hangover from when they like struggled with stock. So like in theory I could go, because like I usually, if I was at work all day I couldn't go, and then I'd have to go in the evening, and then that person wouldn't have like, I don't know, fucking pasta or something, because the pasta stock isn't there. But now I got turned away, so I was sad. I went at lunchtime and said, I mean, she just wanted like a bottle of oyster sauce. So it wasn't in any worry or whatever. But yeah, so otherwise, my cable came today. Also yesterday, and my monitors came yesterday. Yeah, something else came yesterday and today too. Otherwise, boys, we've got another batch of old ginger beer going on. Look at them bubbles on there. And it's in a proper jar with a valve on the top as well. So it should. We've got all the gear this time. Last time we had no gear, no idea. Now we've got an idea and we've got gear. So, oh, that's Laura. Don't worry about that. And we've also got for second fermentation, little proper fermentation bottles, which I can almost guarantee one of them's going to shatter, but it's hopefully not. Also ordered for when we fill these, got really struggled last time with like getting rid of the sediment that's in the bottom. I sieved it, but the sieve we had wasn't like good enough, so I've ordered a metal coffee filter, which I thought was a stroke of genius. I couldn't find coffee filter paper anywhere, in any supermarket, nowhere. But I could find this online. I wanted to just buy this, but I had to buy this stupid pour over coffee set. But yeah, so I'll get a funnel, pop that in there, living the dream. I've got to do that in like 3 days or something. So this time, this ginger beer is going to be better. Last time we brewed ginger beer, it was like, it was gassy, and not like gassy like fizzy. It was gassy like if you inhaled near it, it was like giving off CO2. And I think that was because there wasn't enough headroom in the last time we did it in one of these bottles, and there was too much headroom. So I think the gas was able to kind of escape and then wasn't forced back into the liquid, so it didn't make it fizzy. So it wasn't really fizzy. And then also because it was plastic, it would like balloon out, and then I'd get scared and unthing it, you know. I mean, I'm probably going to get scared of this, but we'll see. We'll see how it goes. Yeah. So, what else? Otherwise, work's been good. Had a catch up with like our Scrum Master, a catch up, like an intro with the thing. It was like the highlight of the week because it was just like a normal conversation rather than like a conversation about work. It was great. Otherwise, we'll just watch the film and we'll go to bed. That's it. I'm going to end this video here, ladies and gentlemen. Well, we've got 20 minutes. And I'll catch. It's the weekend. It doesn't matter anyway. Weekends, oh God, every day's the same. I'll catch you later.